What is up, everybody? Welcome to maybe the final video in the Harvest of Sorrows card review series. I don't know if the neutrals need their own video, so I may knock them out at the end of this one. But we're going to talk about, of course, Northern Realms, the final faction to be revealed. Continuing the trend of mages, and definitely bringing in some spicy cards that I can't wait to play. So let's just get right into it. Alumni is the first one over here. A 4 for 6, 6 provision cards. Always a little bit extra spicy. You know, because paying 6 for bronze, it feels weird sometimes. Does that make sense? I don't know. It probably doesn't. 4 for 6 human mage. Deploy if both values are equal to or higher than 4. Gain zeal. Order melee, damage an enemy unit by 0. Order ranged, boost an allied unit by 0. And these zeros are actually values that correspond to the highest patience achieved by your Ben Art student or Aretusa student cards. I love the flavor of this card. Let's just start with that. Look, these like the art shows a man and a woman. You know, the man went to Ben Art. The woman went to Aretusa. They were once students at their respective schools. And, you know, whichever Ben Art student that you were able to get the highest patience on, he's the one that became the alumni. If you place it on the melee row and utilize the penis aspect, the male aspect of the card. And, you know, the same, if you place it on ranged, the highest patience achieved by an Aretusa student, you know, that makes that Aretusa student technically the alumni. Really cool flavor. And, you know, the deploy, like, if both values are 4 or higher, you gain zeal. That's fun. I think that's fun. I saw someone suggest that this card should also have patience. And I would have liked for it to have patience, but I don't know if that will make it too good. I mean, mages have tended to be slightly on the weaker side. And, you know, getting high patience counts on Banard students and Aretusa students is not something I'm sure you're going to be able to do consistently. But I like the flavor of the card. I like the flexibility. Like you go with whichever one fits the situation best, or whichever one is higher. Like if you only got a Ben Art student to 4, but you got an Aretusa student to 8, and you don't desperately need that 4 damage, play this on the range row. And the condition for zeal here, very creative. Very, very nice. I like it. I'm a fan of conditional zeal, like gaining zeal if a certain condition is met. You know, and Udalric on Brockbar gaining zeal on Bloodthirst 2, not quite what I'm talking about, although it technically does qualify. But something like this is good. I think the fact that it costs 6, I think, is gonna be a downside to this card. But I mean, it really depends. If you can consistently, like if you mages play a lot of threats, right? A lot of cheap, greedy cards. You can't kill them all, and some are gonna get a lot of value. And if you can consistently get good value from your Bernard students, your Aretusa students, and also your alumni as a result of that, maybe it's good. It's definitely a cool card. There's really nothing that I don't like about it. Like, I like that it costs 6, because I like 6 provision cards for some reason. I just hope it ends up being good at that cost. And if it ends up being really underpowered, I would not mind seeing patience slapped onto this card as a buff later on. You know, maybe consider that. All right, consider it. Meditating Mage. Now this one got people talking, and it got me thinking. Wow. A 4/4 human mage with patience, order, gain vitality for 0 turns. Obviously that increases by 1 per turn that you haven't used the order. Bonded, also gain resilience. Now there's a lot to talk about here, but I'm going to try to be brief so we can squeeze in some neutrals at the end. First of all, resilience on a 4 provision unit is sick. 4 base power for that resilience on a 4 provision unit. Sick. And for those who don't know, while boosted cards do lose their boosts when they cross over into the next round with resilience, they don't lose statuses. It won't lose its vitality. Any boosts it has already gotten from vitality or some other source, yes, that'll go away. But if this has 3 vitality left at the end of the round, that's going to carry over too. It's insane. And if that's not crazy enough, you know, it's a bonded effect on order. And that is huge, because that means even the first one you play can benefit from the bonded. That's never happened before. That's insane. And it's on such an insane bonded effect. I mean, yes, it will die. A lot of these will die. A lot of mages who just sit down to meditate will get crushed. But it's a 4 provision card, so you don't mind it getting killed. If that means your Banarch student gets to 6 damage, worth it. Or you can use your students to bait the removal. Your meditating mage will live. You can get an extra one from Mushy Truffle. And you can just get so much value. Like, I know I've said this before. I don't know if it was... I think it was during my Once Upon a Pyre card reviews. But the fact that it's a 4 provision card means that if it dies every match, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's what NR is about. That's what mages are about. You play so many cheap threats. If they don't die, they're worth so much. And if they do die, they weren't that expensive. So this guy is... It's a sick card. There's so much potential in this 4 provision unit. And if it gets killed as a 4/4, who gives a shit? Like, who cares? If it doesn't die, your opponent is going to care, because you have 4 provision carryover, and a lot of it. It's so crazy. I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit upset that dwarves didn't get a cheap resilience on a bronze, but I mean, this... I love the card, so I can't be mad. It's so dumb. In the fun way. Maybe not scroll. Oh god. That's what I get for cheaping out and just using the website. Refart's Vengeance is the epic, a 5/9 machine mage siege engine. First of all, gotta love those tags. Order, play a bronze unit from your hand and draw a card. Cooldown 5. Crew, whenever you play a unit next to this card, damage a random enemy unit by 2. Mages contribute to this card's crew ability. Let's start at the top. Order. It's a very good order effect. Having it on cooldown 5 means that in a medium to long round, you can do it twice. Will this card be good without a way to give zeal? Probably not. Probably not. But like you just have to get the order off once. And it will have been worth it. For 9 provisions, it will have been worth it. You know, people are already playing Inspired Zeal with some mage stuff. Play this. Put it to 7. Give it Zeal. It's a pretty hardcore engine. It's a very hardcore engine. And then use its order to play another engine. Just a greedy Ben Art student or something. It's great. And if you have a soldier or mage already on the row, you play this. Then use the order to play another one. You'll trigger the crew. You'll get another 2 points immediately. It's awesome. The art is awesome. The flavor here is pretty cool. Opening portals to launch like magic missiles at people. It's awesome. And, you know, modifying like the crew ability to include mages for this one. It's just fun. I mean, this works perfectly well in just a siege deck. You know, it works in decks with soldiers, and it does work with mages. It works really well with mages. It's just really good. And, you know, if you play Inspired Zeal mages, easy value. If you play Shield Wall mages, this could be worth shielding. Rough Heart's Vengeance, it's a really cool card. It's just funny. Like, the art and the tags, it's just funny. But they make sense. Like, it's not just silly for the sake of being silly. It makes sense, and it's cool. It's... I mean, it's... I've said cool, I've said awesome, I've said fun, I've said funny. What more can I say? It's great. I love it. I love this card. It's so good. And then cooldown 5. You can do it again. Anyway, moving on. The legendary. Completely unexpected, I think, for everyone. But definitely for me. It's a location. My favorite card type in the game. Chapter of Wizards. 13 provisions. Resilience, of course. Deploy, spawn, and play a rune word. Order, spawn a base copy of the last played allied bronze mage on this row. You know, a rune word it's a 6 provision card. In many instances, it's not worth 6 provisions. It really depends how valuable the shield is. Because often you're gonna go for a 4 provision unit. And then that shield better be worth it, because you paid 6 provisions for it. But just getting that on deploy, it's such a good deploy. You know, if you play a Sintred Spellweaver, which I definitely will do. You know, this deploy, it gives two charges to him right away. You get a bronze mage. It has a shield, and then you can spawn a base copy of the last bronze mage that you played. Be it the one from Runeword, be it one you played from hand. You can... This is another card that lets you set up 2 threats in one turn. Like, you play this, next turn, you play your Meditating Mage, and then you immediately spawn another Meditating Mage. You now have 2 Meditating Mages. Maybe you high-rolled a Meditating Mage with a shield from the Rune Word. Suddenly you're playing a lot of them mages. And if you don't need to use it in the round you play it, and you want to save it, it's resilient. You get a base copy of the last of any bronze mage that you play as carryover. And much like, you know, all the other locations, no one is going to heat wave this. No one is going to verification it. It's safe. It's uninteractive carryover in the form of a copy of a bronze allied mage. And you have so much control, so much agency over which mage that ends up being. You want 2 spellweavers? Just play one. And then spawn one. You want 2 meditating mages? Boom. If you have like a really good setup for Alumni, get 2 of them. It's so good. And people are saying it's overcosted. And you know what? 13 provisions, that is hard to deal with sometimes. But carryover is worth so much. And this is not just... this is not Gwent where, oh, the carryover is that you put a unit from your opponent's graveyard in their deck. It's not Hen Keduk, where the carryover is that if you have damaged units on both sides, you can get up to 4 points of healing. This is just another threat. It's so good. It's so good. And if the fact that it costs 13 means that people won't be shoving this up my ass every match, awesome. I didn't want that anyway. But I want people who sit down and just play some wholesome all-in mage decks. I want them to benefit heavily from Chapter of Wizards. Spawn some sick mages, guys. Please do it. Do it for me, if not for yourself. Okay? I love this. I love locations, and this is just such an awesome one. It's so good. And we are going to squeeze in the neutrals here, so this one is probably going to be a bit longer than the other ones. But we only have 2 neutrals. I'm going to start with the one that I have the least to say about, which is Alyssa Hansen. A 6/7 epic human mage. Deploy, shuffle a special card from your graveyard to your deck. If it was a bronze, also shuffle 1 additional copy of that special. So, 6/7, shuffle a card from your graveyard to your deck. Human mage. Sound familiar? Oh yeah. A sire. A sire. Nilfgaard has this card, but better. But it's a neat card for other factions to have access to. You can get a 3rd use of Amphibious Assault. You can get a 3rd use of any Echo card. You can put back Novgorodian Justice in a Dwarf deck. I don't see why you would waste time playing this in a Dwarf deck, but you could. And if you're playing Simless, shuffling in bronzes could be a good idea. Shuffle in one of your orbs. If you draw one of your orbs, right? Just play it. And then shuffle it back. And then get a 3rd orb. And then play 3 orbs with Simless. Like the shuffling bronze additional copy thing, like that's really only relevant for Scoia'tael. I'm pretty sure. I don't see that being all that relevant in any other faction, but shuffling any special card from your graveyard back to your deck. 6/7, not the worst stats for an effect like this. It could be useful. It could definitely be useful. But this is just one of those cards where I have no obvious use for it yet that I really want to do, so it's probably going to have to wait. It's going to be a while before I'm going to play this card. But a card that you're not going to have to wait at all to see me play, because I will be playing it in probably every deck ever. The Mushy Truffle. This was revealed alongside, the first Scoia'tael cards. The first cards we saw from this expansion included the Mushy Truffle. And I have thought about it every day since. I love this card so much. It's a location, again, my favorite card type. I love locations so much. 9 provisions, resilience, of course. Of course, the best part. Deploy, spawn, and play a bonded unit from your starting deck. Obviously, a theme in this expansion. Every faction got a bonded unit. Order, spawn, and play Golden Froth. Oh my god. I adore this card. Unfortunately, there aren't a whole lot of bonded units that I am excited to play. You know, I want to try some fun stuff with the new Nilfgaard one. I think just playing this in Dwarves could be pretty good. You know, because Dwarves are already doing Resilience and Carryover. Mahaka Marauder is a bonded Dwarf. And it's not a bad one either. So, maybe that's a consideration. Obviously, though, like this is not going to be news to anyone. This is great in Skellige alchemy decks. Alchemy decks whose main engine is a bonded unit. And then Golden Froth, which this card does spawn and play as part of an uninteractable order effect that is potential carryover. It's an alchemy. It's like this card was made for Skellige alchemy. I think it's going to be good in a lot of things. I think every faction could play this. But no. Sorry. I love this card. Like, I mean, number one, it's a location. Obviously, I love locations. Number two, it's playable in Nova decks, which is fun. Number three, the art is so cool. I wish I could. Can I? No, I can't really show you a bigger version of it. But I mean, you see it. You've seen it. It's such a cool art with so much going on. Like, you have the bard sitting on the barrel, you have the guy puking, you have the cat, you have the flying mug of ale, a guy who's fallen over, a guy standing on the table, a waitress serving drinks, like so much, and it's just such a nice tavern feel, right? And the flavor of it. It spawns to play a bonded unit because people are bonding. They're coming together, they're meeting friends, they're hooking up, you know what I'm saying? And yes, you can play Sly Seductress with this. Which, you know, it just adds another layer. In my opinion. And then, you get drinks for them all. Golden Froth. Beers all around. It's so good. I love it. And I am not joking. I've thought about this card every day. Like, if there's one card that I am the most hyped about just getting to play, it's the mushy truffle. Like, just, I know Gwent is just a video game, you know, it's just digital pieces of art, you know, with some text, but I am legit hyped to take this card out of my hand, put it on the board, select my bonded unit, and then just sit with a smirk on my face, knowing that I can spawn and play Golden Froth whenever the hell I want. It's so good. It's so good. And like, the card is good. Like if you just even if you don't do any bonded shenanigans, so many bonded units are like 6 for 4s. So deploy, play a 6, order, spawn and play a 6. 12 for 9. Half of that is potential carryover. And of course, some bonded units are engines. You can get even more points. And if it lets you actually trigger some bonded, that's worth points. There's so many points. Like, the card is worth a solid amount of points, even without any bonded actually triggering. It's worth so many points. Okay, not so many, but 12 for 9. which this can easily get in most factions, 12 for 9 is good. Especially when you consider what this does. And it's not just carryover, but like if you line up some units, you can use it to protect units. You know, you play a slightly vulnerable engine, boom, it's now boosted by 2, alongside some friends. I'm gonna stop talking about it, but I love this card. It is my new favorite card. Okay, I love it. There's nothing I don't like about it, and like everything, the art, the name, the card type, the tag, the resilience, the deploy, the order, everything. Thank you for watching. All right, thank you for watching this final Harvest of Sorrows card review video. I am looking forward to the expansion. We have gotten the patch notes at the point of recording this. I will not be doing a video about those, but I am actually quite happy. New cards look great. Patch notes actually, you know, dealt with a lot of things that I and many others really wanted them to deal with. I think they did it in a good way. Some nice surprises, like the artist change. That's out of left field, and it was awesome. So, yep, I am very much looking forward to playing with the new cards, playing with the changed cards, and playing with some old favorites. So, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts. I would love to hear yours as well, so do let me know down below. What are your thoughts on these new neutral cards, the new Northern Realms cards, and the expansion as a whole, just based on what we've seen and not yet tried? Do you already know what decks you're going to be playing first? For me, it is going to be Alchemy. Alchemy with Crow Clan Preachers, Mushy Truffle, and goddammit, Triss Telekinesis, okay? I know people say she sucks in Alchemy, but the whole point of the deck, at least for me, is going to be about playing a shit ton of Preachers and then as many Alchemies as I can fathom. And Triss is a part of that, so... Anyway, I hope to see you again tomorrow for the first gameplay video of the new patch. Playing some Skellige Druids, Alchemy, gonna have a good time. Operator is gonna be in it, so, you know, we're going old school as well as new school. Until then, have a good one. I hope you're, I really hope you're all excited for this expansion. You know, I want nothing more than for Gwent to just be a fun game that I can play, that all of you can play, and we can just have fun with together. You know, you watch my videos, you think they're fun because the game is fun. You'll leave fun comments that really mean a lot to me. I talk with you on Discord. You know, discuss the game there. You know, it means something to me, and I really just want it to be great for everyone. That's it. I'm gonna go now. I gotta get both of these videos out this evening so that we're ready for a gameplay tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.